Alright, new year, new tech, new equipment, new resolve, same old shit. This is continuing, this ain't over, as I say every episode. If you take a look at when these are coming out, they're spaced just about a month, maybe sometimes two apart, but, you know, the answer to when's Reboot will always be, when I build up the balls to continue to bury everything that I care about and to destroy what little is left of the purity of my childhood. Hey guys, Woolie versus Reboot here. We're doing this in post this time because you need to see, you need to witness, you need to bear witness to what I can only describe as the part where the game developers completely lost their minds, and or gave up. They gave up on the idea of anybody actually getting this far into the game. So, as you can see here, you've got this pyramid level. It starts out and gives you barely a couple seconds right away to go find the first tear. You know, me taking my first crack at this environment already, the devs have to assume that at this point, you've gotten used to your shitty, slidey, Tony Hawk controls, and are, you know, basically pegging you as a master at this point of awful, slidey, imprecise movement. So, why not build these pyramids with sharper than 45-degree angles that you need to climb up on, that will sometimes... Hold on. Yeah, so Fong's giving us some advice on the fact that we need to shoot the bad guys to kill them, and that'll make this climbing the pyramid mission easier. This is batshit insane. So again, you're on the clock right now. You're being shot at from all sides. Every moment that you like, if you just listen, there are enemies everywhere shooting at you from all sides, flying all around the place. There are tears like this, ready to kill you, and if you fuck up by getting hit, that's what happens. That's what happened. Did you see that? Did you see that? So that is the name of the game in this fucking insane level. Not that Beverly Hills hasn't already outstayed its fucking welcome, but here we go now. You've got to go through this pyramid, get rid of the tears in seconds before you disintegrate and die, while enemies are shooting at you from all sides, and every tear is getting progressively higher and higher on this unclimbable pyramid, rather. Because I've stopped giving a shit at this point. There you go. Never stop talking about Megaframe Megabyte. Because I've stopped giving a shit, let me pull back the curtain and show you guys the brute forcing that's required here. Because what you'll see is me getting kicked back to the main menu now. And every time I died, I simply just cut this for your own sakes. Every time I died, I'd get shoved right back here. What you saw there was the loading screen with the number of lives I had left, and I've been playing through this game with one life, meaning every time I die, it's back to the fucking start, because that's the only way through it, because the other lives were spent up on previous levels, and simply getting to the end was good enough for me to want to save it and move on. Getting to the end with multiple lives was just not in the question. And yes, that does include the level where I had to fucking cheat and put on the flying codes because the game would crash if I did not. So, brute fucking forcing this LP. Like, any mere mortal would have given up long ago. Long ago. If this was on stream, we would have fucking turned this shit off and switched over to Mortal Kombat 10. You know, we would have switched over to anything else, to just whatever, but because nothing on this channel is ever given up on, because there's no such thing as a Best Friends LP unfinished. Here we are, brute forcing it, doing whatever the fuck we can. I should say, I'm doing whatever the fuck I can to make sure this game gets beat, no matter what. I can't begin to put myself in the mind of the level designer at this point. I honestly can't. Like, it's such a clear, like, we have given up design that one can only assume. Oh my god, I got so vexed. You guys don't even know how salt. One can only assume that this is trying to convince you to stop playing the game. Like, straight up. You know, it's the... We always talk about, you know, like, there's nothing worse than escort missions, unless it's a timed escort mission. Unless it's a timed underwater escort mission. And you just keep stacking on the adjectives and descriptive words, because that's what you get here. And like, this is the exact example of that. At this point, stopping to shoot enemies is just time being wasted, is what I realized, and it's just not worth it to even bother taking on the threats that much. Like, here and there you can go ahead and do it, but for the most part you want to just focus on getting up to the next tear, because A, you don't even really know where it is, and B, like, yeah, you're wasting a precious like 8 or 9 seconds killing a dude when you've only got like 30 to really get to it. I mean, you start with like a minute 30, I believe. It's so unbelievably garbage and baffling that this was considered acceptable at the time. And you know, I like, there's something to be said for old ass, like, the industry died because of shitty Atari games back in the day, and because of no compliance and because of no quality standards. And the fact that we'd get through, you know, the 8-bit, the 16-bit, and now we're in the 32-bit generation with this game here, and like, this still comes out and is considered acceptable. You know, like your Ninja Man style games, that tier quality is what we're getting here. For what? For fucking what? You know? This is, like, if this game came in the back of a cereal box or with one of my action figures, maybe I'd be a bit less salt about it. But imagining if I had a PS1 back in the day, like, thank God at this time I had an N64, and I simply just couldn't do it. But I always wondered what it was about, you know? But I kind of, like I said, little old Woolie Jr. kind of knew. I kind of had a whiff of the scent of feces from a distance, and but I was curious as a Reboot fan, you know. But one can only wonder, like, if I had gotten my allowance saved up or asked my folks to buy me this game, and this was the one that I was gonna get for a while, since, you know, money doesn't grow on trees, and you spend the probably $49.99 this would have cost at the time. Like, I can't begin to imagine what a fucking tizzy I would have been in these fucking corners. Oh my god. Yeah, like, I don't know if it would, like, ruin me on Reboot, but it would have salted me, like, to a whole other level. I would have probably had to, like, take a break from, like, watching the show for a bit if I had to deal with this shit when I was younger. And I would have. Like, now it's like, you know, we have the channel, and that fucking thing. Now we have the channel, and it's like, yeah, no, we stick through it and then go through the shit and put ourselves through the garbage. But I'm the kind of guy that does that anyway, you know? Whenever there's something not working, whenever there's a game that requires a lot of setup or a lot of bullshit to finagle to get working for the channel, like, I really, like, I'll just fucking sit there and do it, you know, and I'll tweak it till it works. And, you know, like, Matt always laughs because he's just like, yeah, okay, no video over, fuck it, we're all going home. And I'm like, no, we can probably get it working, we just need to, like, see what's online, has anyone else figured this out or whatever, and deal with it. So I would have probably spent way more time than I'm comfortable with trying to get through this shit. So at this point, you're just trying, once you get through the final tear, because there's always the 3 tears in each stage, you're trying to then get to the point where you're collecting keycards, because at least at that point, the time limit is not on your ass anymore, and the game decides to lighten up and stop being as much of a shit as it usually is accustomed to being. And it's like, okay, now you can just go collect the keycards while still dying and platforming on this awfully designed tower of fucking death, with limited ammo and limited health pickups, because the ones you get from killing guys it's enough to keep you going just a little bit, but considering how much damage you're going to be taking in the long run, it kind of is insignificant. And running out of the ammo that lets you kill these guys quickly, of course, also being a shit factor. So, yeah, no, this fucking cunt of a level is really just about getting to this final tear, getting rid of it in the minute that you have, and then just doing the keycard hunt. And the keycard hunt, you take your sweet ass time, move at a snail's pace if you fucking need to. Oh my god, I don't remember if I fell off of this or not, but I certainly, like, the plastic on the controller, dude, was creaking. It was creaking at this point. I don't think I had gripped a controller that hard since, like, fighting the Fume Knight. And yeah, here we go. This is where I got it. Okay. And then, bam, tear goes away, timer goes away. Now we got our 4 key cards to look out for. Yeah. You know, I mean, the first couple episodes I started... you know... the same fucking Mike the TV message. It's like... Dude, yeah, it's not funny anymore, or interesting, or anything. You're just repeating... PlayStation 1, like, it's whatever. Anyway, the first... I fucking forgot my train of thought. I'm getting so salty again just watching this. Oh my god, and it's also the salt of, like... I feel like I'm gonna bring it up at least, you know, a couple more times, depending on where this game goes, because I still don't fucking know. But the salt of how it was such an easy given. It was such a gimme for a game like this, or a property like this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the fucking time you have to waste taking out these little shit grunts for nothing. And I'm running out of life at this point, so I'm back down to the ground, and I'm like, okay, like, any health would be helpful. Just what, like, I don't, like, it's just, you know, because if you die again, you gotta go do the fucking terror race again. It's just, like, no one's having fun with that. Get my ammo refill. Look at all these extra weapons that do fucking nothing. Like, God bless you for even bothering and putting them in, but... Like, when the only things that matter are the original gun you get, and then the secondary fire, which is stronger and kills things faster. Like, there's no point of putting these other things that it's like, so what if it does a ton of damage? It burns through your entire ammo reserve, like, in 2 seconds of holding down the trigger. Like, the flamethrower, yeah, it's really strong, and then it's gone. You kill 2 enemies, maybe 3, if you're getting every single hit off on one of the enemies. It's a complete waste of time and effort to put, like, a weapon like that in the game. The potential, man, for a good reboot game. And you know what? Maybe, you know what? Here's the one silver lining I might give to the Guardian Code, the new series that claims to exist but has yet to prove it. Is maybe, just maybe, if things come out and are similar enough to the old reboot, where you just keep the premise of, you know, hopping into games and playing different genres and stuff, we might get a reboot game that's actually, like, you know, worthy of the name Reboot, or at the very least has the idea of, like, going into different game cubes and playing as different genred versions of your characters, and actually, you know, rebooting. Because not once in this game have you ever done the actual thing, you know, the namesake of the fucking series. Bob doesn't reboot anywhere in the game, at least yet, because you don't go into any game cubes, and it's just, it's like, it's you know, the idea that Bob is just going to be running around with the gun that he had from the Starship Alcatraz episode, which was also a gun from inside a game. But they knew that, hey, kids are gonna love that, show the big fucking gun, and, like, that'll be a cool advertising point, and let's act as if he has that all the time, when he clearly fucking doesn't. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, there's an episode of Reboot where they go to, basically space Alcatraz, and it's kind of like a first-person shooter mock-up game, and there's these inmates that are trying to escape, and these monsters and stuff, and so Bob and Dot Reboot as prison guards and prison wardens, and they have to like shoot the escapees and whatnot. But the guns just put you in a bubble. They don't really like kill you or anything, and then it lets you like float them back into their cells or whatnot. But it's a cool looking giant gun. It looks like the Lawgiver a little bit from Judge Dredd. You know, like they have it's a nice cool picture, and then Bob has the eye like Saiyan scanner kind of thing on, and you know, it's a cool actiony kind of look. And like they knew that that's the kind of shit that kids want to see, so they just used that model of Bob and Dot with the huge guns everywhere as like a big selling image. Oh yeah, by the way, these bombs that are dropping that you're seeing here, they have no source. There's no enemy to kill, as far as I recall, that you can deal with that'll get rid of those or stop that from happening. If you stand still on any spot that's exposed to light, you're gonna just eventually take a hit. Anyway, so yeah, so they just kept marketing that the dumb Alcatraz thing, and it wasn't dumb because I thought it was cool at the time too, but it was just annoying that they kept using it in contexts where it didn't belong and where anyone who knew anything about the show. Now I can't even find what the fuck I'm looking for. Uncertain of where these cards are even supposed to be. Oh, there's some health. They kept using them because they're just marketable, and it was terrible. It was just dumb. Anyway, the other thing too is like I think, like yeah, another first season episode was the God, what was it called? Wizards, Warriors, and a Word from Our Sponsors. The towards the end of the first season, they had that D&D style campaign where you had the knights and the whole like you know, part. Everyone was a different class from a party and stuff, and like as cool as that was, I remember that too. Seeing that and seeing like EverQuest at the time was some of the initial stuff that made me just go like, wow, generic, boring, post-Tolkien-esque art styles are just really uninteresting if you don't do anything special with it. Like if your idea of a cool video game knight is just a guy in normal knight armor with sword and shield man and wizard that's looking kinda like Gandalf but not really, that was just the most fucking boring thing in the world to me. And you know, that was also part of the reason why I kind of misattributed the Soul series to being another just whatever fantasy kind of thing. But I was thankfully I was super duper wrong about that. But to this day, like if you just go look at EverQuest and go look at Wizards, Warriors, and a Word from Our Sponsors to see the type of fantasy that I really like. I don't even hate it, I just find it boring and done. You know, it feels like you grab the assets of a party of heroes instead of, you know, actually designing characters in a way. Yes, so here we are at the top section where I believe I'm soon going to realize that each corner of this pyramid is not equal, is not even, and they intend for you to kind of surf on those things to get up to the top there. But at this point, I just don't even want to fucking risk it, and it's kind of unclear how to get higher up the pyramid from here. You can see there's enemies up there, and so you can only assume, wow, no brakes. Why would there be brakes? You can only assume that, you know, that's where you're supposed to go, but fucking how, right? And so, like, yeah, I was like, maybe that's the wrong side, maybe I have to come at it from a different angle. It's just, like, at this point, you're just like, okay, whatever, I've got time, I can just sit here and try, but, you know, what? And these arrows that they have on the map are the most unhelpful pieces of shit ever, because, like, if I'm not mistaken, maybe, I don't remember exactly, but, like, obviously there's no indicator of what height they're on, or what you know, what their Z value is. So you can't get a feel for whether or not it's above or below, and in a pyramid level it's obviously got to be above, but you're just like, there's a point where it gets really unclear. I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself a little bit, but they ended up being another source of immense frustration. That's what I was going to say earlier. I used to do these episodes getting pretty toasty to just numb to just numb myself from the pain. And you know, anyone who knows anything about that can tell you that that's not a good coping method right there. You don't want to associate something that used to be nice and happy like Reboot with the need to fucking grab the bottle. So, you know, I decided to just hammer through it. And oh look, what do we have here? It's a shitty platform with a pit underneath it that I'm supposed to squeeze up to get to the next level. There we go. And then, yeah, more torture. More just, you know, like these again, sharper than 45-degree inclines that you sink on unless you're like really mashing it at the right angle. They just assume like, yeah, no, that's fine. We can just put those all over the place, and you fuck up, you fall off.
Bob have the right stuff? Tune in next level and see for yourself.
Yep, another original message that we haven't heard 18 fucking times already in this game. You know, and hey, Mike the TV being annoying is what he's supposed to do, so, you know, I guess, but God, it just, when they do the same thing with Dot and with Fong and with Enzo, it's just like, okay, yeah, right. That's not gonna replace the fact that you don't have those characters in the game, in the world, anywhere where I can talk to them or actually have some semblance of an adventure resembling an episode. You know, they sprinkle these vid window clips trying to pretend that that's gonna make up for the fact that the rest of the cast is nowhere to be seen, and that this shitty excuse for an episode is gonna make you feel like you're watching the show, but you're fucking not. And you know you're not. And 9-year-old me would have known I was not. Well, not 9-year-old. I mean, I was way older than that when Reboot came, but still. It's garbage. So yeah, you get up to the top here and you realize that you gotta go through these, like, the cloister of trials over here, where it's like, alright, the 4 keycards are all in the same area. That was weird, because I was on the health for a minute there, and it just was just like, nah, I don't feel like healing you. Fuck you, Bob. Fuck you, child, playing this game. Why are you still playing this game? Didn't you see that I designed this so that you turn it off like 8 or 9 levels ago, which is the beginning of the game? Why would you still be here? What do you have to prove? Can you not see that this was designed so that you'd fail? So that you'd fall down all the way and reset your progress like you just did right there? Why, child? Why do you pursue? Why do you consistently get back up? Are you trying to be the protagonist? Are you trying to be Naruto? Where the hero gets back up no matter how many times he gets knocked down? Not really. It's because you fuckers watch this shit and want to see more of my undoing, and, you know, as someone who's decided to record more details of my life on the internet than I would originally have assumed I was comfortable with, I'll happily oblige. Yeah, I'll fucking suffer and die so that you can get a chuckle and then forget about this LP ever existing once it's done and once it's run its course. That's what happens, you know. It's real talk, but it's true. You know, back in the day, we did some old school playthroughs, and we had a good time with them, and we're like, yeah, that was fun. And everyone was like, yeah, it's fun, and Matt and I were like, oh, that was cool. That was a fun game. And then forgotten in the history, in the annals of time. You know, nobody remembers Battle Clash, Wild Guns. Those are flashes in the pan, you know? Anyway, and you know, soon no one will remember this. And in fact, the only reason why you kind of do is because the format that I've put on it. Oh my god, the the bullshit. The only reason why you kind of remember is because it's in a format that preserves my sanity, but also forces its way into your YouTube playlist once every couple of months. So even if you wanted this dead, it ain't gonna happen. And if you didn't want it dead, then maybe you get a happy surprise every now and then. Tell you what though, if you're tuning in and watching this, frustrated and angry that this is still going and this is not killed off, applause to you for making it this far into the episode, because I don't know why you're here. You know, that stop button's right there, that X is up in your top corner, that closed tab is right up there as well. I wouldn't sit and watch me fucking suffer through this. So kudos to you for building up a resistance. You know, and of course now that we're like all kind of experimenting with the solo LPs, as it were, it's you know, we all want to kind of see that, like, hey, can we do this and make it work? Can we possibly deliver games that no one else wants to play whenever we want to play it, but someone else on the team is like, nah, fuck that. You know, and if so, then like, yeah, maybe we can get some cool stuff that, you know, we only care about as individuals, and not as a group per se. You know, I'm currently dealing with lots of requests for, hey, I got that car at that time, that wasn't too bad. Tons of requests coming in to play, like, you know, like a Kamen Rider game or something like that, and I think that'd be the shit. I think that'd be awesome. Problem is, of course, is that, you know, nothing's really translated. The best we'd have to do is, like, keep a wiki open or a translation guide for that, and, you know, and you know, none of the other guys would really be down for that type of thing as well. But if you're a Kamen Rider fan, like I am, then you're like, you know, or, well, like, whatever. Some people will say that I'm a fraud fan, but I enjoyed the 6 or so different Kamen Rider series that I've seen. So, anyway, yeah, if you're a fan, you kind of want to see that getting played or exposed or whatnot, and so on, but, like, sometimes you just can't really force it with people that don't know what's going on and you know, wouldn't have a ton of interest per se. It's a similar problem I'm having right now, because I'm trying to figure out, there's a whole, there's the JoJo Part 6 game that's, not Part 6, rather, Part 5 game that came out for PS2. Hey, yeah, I have a copy. I straight up, Liam, when he went to Japan, like, he found a copy of that and he picked it up for me, and it's awesome. Like, I'm really happy to have that, but I don't know how to present that to the channel, you know? Like, I'm still trying to figure out the format of that, so stuff like that we'll have to see. It's like, you just, you know, maybe a solo look is the only way to do it. But, you know, we're all kind of hoping that people enjoy our solo LPs, and here we go. Finally we got this, and at least they kind of have a little bit of mercy on you, you child, you shit child, insolent fucking spawn child that has sat here and actually had the audacity to defeat my level, to complete the progress, and not give up, and not surrender, and not quit. How fucking dare you? Yeah, we're gonna do it. We do it!